Good evening, everybody. This is Maria from You in Mind, and we've got our beautiful guest Helena back with us this evening to share her passion about numerology, which is going to be quite fascinating because it's been a while since I've looked into numerology. So welcome, Helena. Namaste. Thank you for joining us again.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Maria, for having me here. It's an honor to be back again and very excited to share the space with you.
It's an honor to share this with you again, Helena. I just love your radiance, your smile. You just make me feel really happy when I look at you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Bless you. I'm grateful for that. And that's what it's about, you know. I'm merely a reflection of you, and we share together. When people come together, the light brightens. So this is the whole point of coming together, is to share our knowledge and wisdom and passions with one another.
So talking about passions and wisdoms, tell us a little bit, how long have you been doing numerology and what got you into it?
Well, I've gone live this year with numerology. I've always had a passion for numbers all my life. Maths was one of my favorite subjects from school. I loved it with a passion that I remember I would even go and ask my math teacher for previous year exams so I could go. I just loved the world of numbers, how things unfold. And this is amazing how numerology has come into my spiritual path now, and I use it as a tool, and it helps me in many ways, and even some clients too now. And this is why I'm here now, to get out there and share what I've been using all this time in my life to help others in their lives.
Yes, good. No, like I was saying to you earlier, I think my number's 4. If I remember, do you want to talk us through the process? I think you get your birth date and add the numbers together. It's a long time since I've done numerology.
Yeah, sure. I will go through all of that. But I feel it's good for the listeners to maybe just get a little bit of a background about what numerology is and the history of it. And of course, tonight we will be doing a lovely exercise together about learning your personal year number and how that will affect the rest of this year for you. And also, one lucky listener, online viewer, will receive a free numerology card reading from myself. Brilliant. So to begin, numerology is basically a universal language of numbers. And these numbers are used to assist us on our paths with regards to our personality traits, with our capabilities, with our personal goals, as well as with our heart's desires. There's so many things, you know. A real deep reading can take you to very different levels within yourself. It's how deep you want to go. And they actually say it's very similar to astrology. You know, you get the basic stuff and then you get the very deep stuff. So
I was just going to say, I didn't even know that you could do that with numerology. I only know the very basic things with it. So yeah, that's interesting. That's just like gone poof. Okay, I didn't know
that. So this is what I love about it. It's like an enchanting, magical, mystical world. And of course, numbers have been used throughout history. And apparently it goes back as far as the Egyptian and Babylon times, where it's very much used. That's when it was first discovered, and there are records to prove it goes that far back. And then since then, it's been the Romans, the Greeks, in China and Japan as well. There's documents about it being used in those countries. So I find that very fascinating.
Yes.
And as you know, in many sacred sites, there's museums and very churches, you know, synagogues, cathedrals. You can find certain numbers, maybe on the door, on the floor, inscripted, and these are all very meaningful.
So I always thought they were to do with the Bible, though.
Say that again?
I always thought the numbers on the doors and things are probably verses or something from the Bible.
That's possible. If you're in a church, maybe a Christian church, that's very possible. I haven't personally looked into that, but I would not be surprised. Yeah. For me, the magic really, what connected me, because my journey started very much with angels, and it drew me to the angel numbers. And the angel numbers have their meanings as well, seeing 444s, 777s, 999s. And funny enough, today I had a 999 registration car this morning, and then this afternoon, just before leaving work this evening, it was 777. So it's amazing how the numbers really talk, and looking into that, it's really just very appropriate for me and my life at this moment.
Yeah,
and this is what I want to share.
Sorry, crossover.
No problem. Go ahead.
Sorry, go on, carry on. I thought you'd finished and I was talking over you, sorry.
It's okay. These things happen with technology. It's all part of the fun. So angel numbers are also a form of numerology, obviously connected with angels. You have a spiritual way of interpreting the numbers. It's whatever resonates with you, whatever however you use them. There's no religious connotation. It's basically used in all areas of life by all people, as far as I know and have experienced.
Yeah. Well, the angel numbers, I think they're quite more noticeable now for people, because it's been made more aware through social media. I've got one friend, another Maria. She's obsessed with 333, and she sees it all the time. She'll send me a text message going with a screenshot of the phone. Look, it's 333 again.
It's amazing how when you start opening yourself up to these possibilities, how fascinating the numbers can be and the messages behind them. Basically, I work with the Pythagoras method of numerology, which is the modern numerology. And this works with the first 9 letters of the alphabet. So we're working with A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, those numbers. And then it goes again back to 1 to 9. And that's how they work the numerology. And Pythagoras himself was a guru. He was a musician, and he was a philosopher. So using his method of numerology now is very, very popular and very appropriate. And in my way, being a lover of numbers and maths, I find it very simple. So we can begin tonight by working with what I'd like to introduce you first, a very simple little exercise.
We just froze for a moment then.
Oh, okay. Shall I repeat that then? Let's just repeat that. So tonight we'll begin with a very simple exercise called personal year number. And it's very basic maths, not difficult, and I'm here to help and assist those who do need help. So if you have any questions or get lost along the way, pop it into the comments and I'll be glad to help you.
Okay. We have 2 people viewing. Welcome, whoever you are. Nobody's commented yet. So let us know who you are, if you will, if you want to. And welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, that would be great. Yes, thank you. Please do. So what is the universal personal year number? It has it gives us guidance about the current year, the year as we talk about the universal year. This year being 2020. So it gives you as an individual guidance about what to expect this in your life this year. Focus very much on this year, working with the numbers. And there's 2 parts to it. The first part, what we do is we take the year number, which is very simple. This year is 2020, and we add those four digits together. So you'll add the 2020, which 2 and 2 is 4. Very simple. So we're working with the with the number 4 from the universal year, which is very interesting because 4 represents the balance. And, you know, it's been very unbalanced this year with the way things have been going.
It's been unbalanced, but the unbalance is creating balance, if that makes
Exactly.
any sense.
Absolutely. Yes, I agree with you there. And often in chaos, that's when we find new strengths.
Yes.
So we take the number 4 and we're going to put that aside. And the second part of the exercise is taking your birth date and then your birth month together. So
say that again, your birth date.
Birthday, the day you were born.
Okay.
Okay. And you're going to add that to the month you were born.
Okay.
And that should give you a number. So, for example, my birth date is 18 of May. So I will add the 1 and the 8, and that will give me a 9. And then add the 9 to the 5, which is my month that I was born in. So 9 and 5 is 14.
Yeah. So mine's 17.
Okay, so when we get the double digit, we always convert in this numerology, the modern numerology of Pythagoras, to a single digit. So mine is 1 plus 4, which is going to be 5.
Yeah, mine's 8.
And yours is 8. Okay, so that's very interesting. So for me, basically the 5 is representing a year of freedom, having to find freedom in all this chaos. But it's talking about personal freedom. And through that personal freedom, it'll be reflected in my outer world, which has been very true so far. So for yourself as an 8, that's about finding the flow in your life this year. And like the number 8, the infinity, it's going to be ups and downs. You go up and you go down, but it's the flow of finding that balance, because both sides of the 8 are equally balanced usually. So this is it, finding that balance on your spiritual journey. So if anybody has a question, they can feel free to put it into the comments, and I would be happy to give you feedback on your personal year number.
My friend Tracy's joined us. There's still another 2 people hiding in the wings.
Okay, no need to be shy. Feel free to join in. That's what I'm here for tonight, to connect and share and assist you with any questions and guidance in your life. This is all about you, and there's no personal information or anything that is embarrassing. It's just guidance about where the rest of this year will take you. So it gives, like myself with the 5, I've understood not to resist, to allow myself to try new things, experience new things, so that I can be free of the chains that I've put around myself, the limitations, the beliefs, the setbacks. So I've been more aware of that throughout this year. So it's been a great tool. Yeah. And this is what I'd like to do, is just share this information. So for those of you who would like to know, I can go through the other numbers.
Hey, Paula.
Okay. Wonderful. Hi. Hi, 301 TV. Cool. So your number is 2. 2 is about the togetherness, partnership, relationships. And that's going to begin first with yourself, not only in a physical relationship with someone else. For example, your career relationship, or your relationship, let's say, with children, if you have. It's going to also be about the relationship with the world, with what's going on around you, and co-creating. So it's a very interesting number to have this year. So it's telling you the relationship within yourself to work with, because the inner reflects the outer, to get more balance in that. And then from there, being aware of your outer relationships with others, whether it's your work, children relationship, your partner relationship, and also the relationship with your community and country and world. that kind of thing. So thank you for that. I hope that answered your question. So I'll go through the other numbers as well, just to give an idea. Number 1 is basically about new beginnings, about your individuality. It's
You've
about...
got another question there, Helen.
Sorry, you cut out. Am I adding the 4 to my birthday numbers? Yes. Hi, Tracy. Thank you for your comment and for joining us here tonight. So you take the 4 from the universal number and you will add that afterwards to the total you get from your birth date added to your birth month. So
I didn't do that.
You need to add, you take your day of birth, mine is 18, and my birth month is May the 5th. So you add 1 and 8 is 9 for the 18th, plus the 5 that I was born on. So that's giving you the 14, and 4 and 1 is 5. And then you're adding that to the universal number. So that's how you need to work yours out. If you're still not sure, write up your birth date and month. You don't need to put the year, and I'm happy to help you with that and give you some information. Because this is the tricky part with numbers. You've got to have the right formula to get the right answer. Just like maths back at school.
Yeah, I wasn't good enough.
I'm not here to mark you. I'm here to assist you and show you how meaningful numbers are and magical. They're a wonderful tool to assist in your path. Just a little story until somebody else comes up, until Tracy finds her digit. I had a wonderful client at the beginning of this year who approached me about numerology, and it was an interesting case because she was pregnant and both her and her husband could not decide on the baby's name.
Okay.
So she asked me to do 2 separate reports with each different name and how, it would affect the child's life and path and goals and destiny. And it was very interesting because if I remember correctly, the one was a 6 and the one was a 7. So both very positive numbers. And it was amazing how she responded to the reports when we met in person, and I shared them with her. And today she gave birth to a beautiful little girl and actually used one of the names. And she said it was a great tool to help them come to, a fair agreement.
That's
and
beautiful.
Numbers are amazing. They can help you in any way with numbers. For example, your passport number, your identity number, even your mobile number, your house number. All these have meanings, and with numerology, you can get guidance about if you're going to move into a house or rent another place, what number and how that's going to affect the energy of that place. And I found that with my mobile number, I changed it, not being so aware, but the last 2 digits are 33.
Yeah.
And in my full birth calculation, it's a 33, but it becomes a 6. And I thought, well, wow, that's a coincidence. No, never. Okay, Tracy, so if you have your result and you would like to share it, I would be happy to give you more information. Otherwise, I will continue. Oh, you're a 2 as well. Very good. Okay. So the peacemaker relationship, we're talking about the togetherness, the co-creation. That's the number 2. So thank you for sharing, Tracy. Lovely to have you on board.
Hello.
The number 3. Yes.
Can I just ask?
Yeah, sure.
You just said about the girl with the baby.
Mm-hmm.
And you said about the numbers around the 2 names that she chose.
Yes.
Can you explain a little bit how that works? Well,
basically, no, that would take a while. But it's basically, I think they had 2 or 3 names each. So it was like a first name, a second name, and the surname. But they were different. So because obviously the names are different, the letters and have different vibrations, different numerology symbolism. So they're going to add up to a different result, giving different explanations with the life path, which gives guidance about the personality, about the expression number, that gives guidance about the goals and the capabilities. And the third, which is the most popular, is the soul urge, the heart's desire, that gives guidance about what really calls your heart. So those three sections were worked on with the two different names and had two different outcomes.
So the letters represent numbers.
Yes. For example, the A is a 1, the B is 2, the C is 3, and it works up to number 9 and then goes back to 1. So this is the Pythagoras, the modern version of numerology that's been used now in the recent centuries. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So going to number 3, if anybody's interested out there, that's talking about your expression, the balance of the mind, body, spirit, the yesterday, today, tomorrow, the birth, life, death, rebirth. It's all connected to that. So it's the triangle that's perfectly balanced on 3 sides, and it's giving you guidance in that way. Number 4, as we spoke about earlier, that's telling us about the stability, the balance, the 4 equal sides of the square, with your spiritual journey, your relationships, your career, and your health. 5, as I explained earlier with my self, is talking about freedom. And the freedom, though, is not only the outer freedom in life, being free to do what you want or go where you want without asking permission. It's giving yourself permission within yourself, your spirit, to be free in your choices, in your limitations, your fears. It's working through that. That's the 5. And then the 6 is more about responsibility, taking responsibility for your life and realizing that as a creator, you create your life with your thoughts and your words and your actions. So that's the 6. And then the 7 is more about the connection with the divine, going on that path, and more of a spiritual path, working with letting go what needs to be cleared so you can be more of your divine self. The 8 talks about the flow and the ups and downs, but the forever flow of life, the rhythm of life, being in balance with life, and the infinity that, there's no end. The 9 is talking about completion and how it's almost, you could say, a kind of death, a kind of end to create something. So that's the 9, the completion of a certain area of your life, a certain, maybe it could be a career, it could be maybe in your relationship, it could be with your health habits. So that's the 9. So we can go into much more detail. I'll just mention those, like yourself and Tracy, that mentioned 2. The 2 is basically saying that the past few years you've been focusing on yourself and dealing with altering transitions. So this year is different because the relationship and emotions are going to be a priority. And if you were career-driven last year, you will find yourself being more focused on your home and your loved ones this year. So that's the deeper meaning of the 2. I'm not sure. There was only two people that replied, so both were 2s from what I remember.
Yeah, both 2s.
Yeah. So, for example, mine, that was a personal 9 because it was the 5 of the freedom plus the 4 added to the universal year. So mine, of course, is saying about the 9 is the end of the 9-year cycle. So it's a year of reflection, which has very much been that way for me. It's the year you have to focus on getting rid of the old feelings, the past. Yes, definitely. Forgiving, letting go, all that juicy stuff. Yeah. And then making room for the new opportunities and growth ahead. So I would definitely say that I agree with that. So is there anybody else with some questions or Anything you'd like to add?
I don't know that much about numerology, so I don't feel like I can add much to it, to be honest. I do.
Okay. Have you noticed perhaps in your life some recurring numbers, or for example, what is your address? We could do a little.
I don't actually have an address here.
No number. Well, just give me your number.
Which
house number? Your house number.
I don't have an address.
No.
We don't have an address here.
So you don't have post coming to you?
No.
Wow. Okay. So, I'll talk about mine then. No problem.
Yeah, talk about yours.
8. I'm in a house number 8. And the 8, like we mentioned earlier, is all about flow. So this is very interesting. At the time when I moved in here 22 years ago, I had no idea of the meaning of an 8 and what it represented. And of course, along my spiritual path, I got to know and use the infinity and work with that and my various therapies that I do as a holistic therapist. And now I totally see how that resonates. The 8 is just ideal because it's very much about flow. There's been ups, there's been downs, but there's never a stagnant point. Somehow, whatever comes our way, as a family, we work through it, we find a solution, and then we move through it. So, for example, myself as an 8 and living in the home, it's very appropriate.
Yeah, so, 8, well, the infinity sign, being a sideways 8, is like one of my favourite symbols. I've even drawn it a lot. But so the 8 resonates with me a lot as well, the infinity. And when the sound bath thing that I sent you, I don't know if you had a chance to do it. Well, when I do that, you've done it.
Yes, I love it. Very much into sound healing,
Oh, you have to tell me about that. Sorry?
The mantras and chants, anything to do with sound, the toning, it's very healing. And yes, it's amazing once again going to music, and it's even that relates to numbers because it's also certain beats and certain bars and rhythms and that. And you have in sacred geometry, for example, what we call the Fibonacci code.
Fibonacci code, yeah.
And you have the Da Vinci Code for those of you who followed that. So there's a lot of codes.
That's what I was going to ask you about, actually. Talk to you about, actually, is because numbers, obviously, it rules the universe, the numbers with energy, Fibonacci, all that things, and music. Because I can't remember. It's a shame our Dan's not on. Dan was going to join us tonight, but he's a musician. And the numbers, I can never remember what they are, but it's something like 42 point something hertz.
Yes. Yes, the hertz. Yes, exactly. I know very much about that. Yes, the different vibrations, with regards to sound, the different hertz. And it's interesting you mentioned that because the earth has its own vibration. And the earth is 7.83 hertz. And that's 15 plus 3, adding the numbers. My mind always works that way. 7 plus 8 plus 3. It gives 15 plus 3, which is 18, which is a 9. So they've actually proven with studies that when we as humans vibrate at that same level as the earth, we cannot get sick. That we're in our perfect balance with our immune system. And when we vibrate at the same rhythm as earth with 7.83, which is interesting because numerology 7 is a heavenly number, 8 is the flow, the infinity symbol, and 3 is the Trinity. So that's just another wonderful world and magical unfolding of numbers.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Yeah. I mean, I'm not very big on. I weren't very big on numbers in school. I weren't very mathematical, but I do appreciate the resonance of the numbers within the universe and how things work. geometry. I'd love you to come back and talk to us more about geometry, actually, another time.
Sure. Yeah, we can look into that, because once again, everything is interconnected.
Yeah.
But going back to the numbers, there are different vibration, different scales with music and sound that's actually healing tones. So once again, it goes back to the magic world of numbers. Definitely. So the usual three, talking about a personal numerology report, which is something that I offer. And we work with the basic three first most important sequences with numerology, the most, you could say, basic sequences of numerology to create the answers for the report.
Okay.
And basically, the first is what we call the life path, which is most popular, which any numerologist will work with initially, is working with your full birth name. So like myself, I had three names. My first, Helena, my second, Marina, and my third now, on my birth certificate was Maparides. So we work with the name on our birth certificate, not if we got married and we changed our names, the new name. And we work according to those three sets or two sets of names with the numbers. Every letter has a number, has a vibration, and we add them up and they come to a individual digit. And that digit is giving us information about our personality and how it affects our life and how it gives us our strengths and our weaknesses. So it's giving you guidance about your life. And let's say somebody, I'll talk about myself. Let's say it's my strengths is I'm very much a nurturer, a carer, very much a social person. But then at times I've been told, and I admit, that I can be stubborn. So it's working and acknowledging these limitations, these limitations that we have in our life. And once you're aware, I find it's actually a great gift, because knowing our weaknesses, then we can actually work through them and break them away slowly but surely, and not accept judgment from others when they mention that. So, for example, if my husband says, "Oh, you're being stubborn about this," then I know, yes, oh, well, thank you for reminding me of that. I really don't want to feel that way anymore. So I'm prepared to work with it, because it's not just what he's saying, it's actually in the numbers. So it helps you develop a deeper understanding within yourself, your personality, and especially in business. If you're working in business relationships, in careers, or in business partnerships, it helps in that way to create a more amicable relationship. And that is the life path. So the life path works with your full birth name. That's the first basic set of numbers, is working with your full birth name, your life path. Then we go on to the second exercise, or most important, is what we call the expression number. And the expression number is telling us about our capabilities, our goals, how that resonates with ourselves. But that's worked on our full birth date.
Right. Yeah.
So that's actually taking our birthday, our birth month, and our birth year. But there's a certain sequence how you add it up. It's not just adding all of them together. You've got to do the year separate to the month, to the date, and then you're adding that up once again to get a single digit.
Yeah. Now you're telling me this. I'm remembering things.
Yes.
Well, thank you for joining us.
Hi, welcome. Nice to have someone on board. Another beautiful soul on board with us. Thank you for joining us. If you have any questions, please feel free to pop them in the comments, and I'd be happy to help you along your way. So we're talking about the expression number and how that aids our capabilities and our personal goals in our lives, and how it gives you guidance about yourself and how you can use that in your life to your fullest potential. The third one that's the most popular in this report, the basic personal numerology report that I offer, is what we call the heart's desire, the soul urge number, it's also referred to. And that's basically what really calls your heart, what feeds your soul. And it's giving you guidance also about where your strengths are with these abilities, with your heart's calling. For example, I can be somebody who's really has the ability to be a leader. If that resonates with me, I'm able to be a carer, a nurturer for someone, and a counselor. That's just 3 I can remember off my head. So it's my chance, it's my choice, as we all have choice here, which path is calling me now to follow.
Yeah.
To be honest, it's a combination at the moment of all 3. So it makes life very interesting, but it helps me know that I'm on my right path. That's the confirmation and the beauty of it. So I have Tracy with a lovely question. Thank you, Tracy. Do you ever take your married name into consideration, and what happens when you divorce? No. It's always goes back to you as an individual, because it's no coincidence that you were born on that date with the name you were given. The vibration of those numbers according to your name at birth, at that date, at that time, astrologically, is what we work with, because that is your true self. That is who you actually are, according to numbers. Whether you got married 10, 20 times, whether you didn't and you stayed single, it doesn't matter. It doesn't affect your true purpose, your true essence, your true calling of who you are. So with the numbers, you can also go into compatibility. So once you know your numbers, you could do a report where you get, let's say, for example, I've got my report, my information, and I want to know more information about a boyfriend or my husband, or say my children. So then there's reports we do that with numbers is giving the compatibility and saying, well, you know, on a scale of 0 to 10, this is your compatibility with this person having that number. And it's very, very interesting. For me personally, having done it for my little family, myself, my husband, and 2 children, I found it very interesting to see the strengths and weaknesses amongst us as a family living together, growing under one roof, the strengths of my children and the weaknesses, and how we all help each other. And it's very true how this happens, and how we flow and understand each other that much more. Because for example, my son is an 8 in the life path, and that's a very strong calling, and I see how he's often guiding and counseling my husband and I at certain times. He's much younger, so it's quite appropriate. And then, you know, my daughter's maybe in our family of 4, she's a 4 herself. A 6, my husband's a 1. So you see the different strengths and weaknesses, and you understand each other a lot better. So there's less conflict for me on that level. I find the numbers help me with my relationships in that way. And this is basically the magic of numbers, is giving you that guidance that you maybe never ever thought of.
Do you have a chart on the wall with your family's numbers on, and what they mean, so that when you're having an argument, you can go, yeah, that's 9. Yeah, that's it.
No, but yeah, it's just interesting how each person has their own strengths and weaknesses. Okay, somebody says they are 4. Soul Minds Hypnotherapy, Maria. Hi, Maria. So when you say you're a 4, what are you referring to? Are we working with a 4 as a personal year number or as a life path number? I need to know the difference. If you can just answer.
Maria wasn't here at the beginning, so she would have missed about the year number.
Okay. Okay. So obviously she's worked with her birth date and birth month and birth year. Okay. Usually I would prefer to actually have the information myself to add it up to see that I agree with her because of the way we process it. But because we live, okay, thank you. Okay, that's great. So I can just do a quick one here for you now. So for example, this is a great example. Thank you, Maria. The 28 we're going to add together. That's a 10, which becomes a 1. The 9 stays a 9, obviously. And then we add the 1 and 9 and 6 and 5. So that's 16 and 5 is 21, which is a 3. So the 1 from the birth day to the 9 of the birth month and the 3 of the year, you're going to add together. 1 plus 9 plus 3 is 13, which gives a 4. Correct. Thank you for that. We agree. I'm happy that I can give the correct information. So, yeah, so the life path, I can do very basic here. We don't have much time left. So life path 4 is telling you that you really are in need of finding the balance in every area of your life. This is your calling for this lifetime, if you want to call it that way, that you've been born on this date for this purpose. And often you might find balance in one area and imbalance in another. You can never get the ideal square where all 4 sides are equal. So we're talking about the career, the relationships with yourself as well as with your family, children, colleagues. We're talking about your spiritual relationship as well with yourself and the divine, and we're talking also about your health. So it's those 4 that come into balance that you need to look at in this lifetime and do your best to find the flow, shall we say, in those areas where you're able to be able to, let's say, balance your work with your home life, with your career, with your children, which many women do struggle with.
Yeah, it's true. Especially single parents.
Yes.
Single moms.
That's right. Yes.
Does that resonate with you, Maria?
Yeah, do let us know. I'd like your feedback. This is what the call and live is about, interaction and connection.
Yeah.
So comment.
This evening.
So it's about focusing on your skills and working hard. And it's a good idea to get out of bad habits and work on your goals. So that's how you can get more balance in your life. Obviously, time management and self-discipline would come into that as well to making it happen, especially if you're a working woman like most of us are nowadays. So, yeah, it's saying it's a serious year and it's great for creating foundations of friendship, love, careers, and whatever calls your heart.
Beautiful.
So, number 4.
That's for a 4. I think I'm a 4 on my birth thing.
Yeah. Do you want to? Yeah. So it resonates with you. It does. I want to work for myself, but need to earn money to support myself financially. Beautiful, Maria. Thank you so much for sharing. I really appreciate that. And yeah, that's what numbers are about. It gives confirmation because often as humans, we doubt.
Yeah.
Even though we get divine guidance or we get signs, you know, or a friend might say, yeah, go for it. I know you're confident. I know you can do it. You've got this. You know, there's always something, some limitation, belief, or something within ourselves that creates a doubt or insecurity. And this is where numbers come in, because like astrology, and it gives you that confirmation. And that's what I love about it. Even with my daughter, when she met her boyfriend just over a year ago as well, I remember us sitting at the coffee shop, and I said, well, come on, give me his date of birth. And we worked it out. We did the compatibility thing, and it was all very positive. So, of course, she thought, oh, well, and me as a mother too, it's like, oh, well, that's great.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's a guideline and it's up to them. And as individuals, you know, they're young as well, so things change. But nothing is written in stone, as we know.
No.
In life. We are all creators of our own destiny, and this is guidelines along the way.
I think things like this, though, do help us if we've got like multiple talents, let's say, to
Absolutely.
hone it in a little bit, you know. Because my friend Maria there, I was just messaging, and I'm guessing you as well a little bit, Helena. We've got so many spokes to us wheel,
Yes.
you know. But do you know what I'm saying? You know, honing that and focusing on one thing sometimes is the way to go forward, rather than dispersing as energy in so many places.
I totally agree with you. And that's where I found that this year I feel I've been encouraged to step into this and get out this knowledge and wisdom that I have, this passion of mine, and share it to help guide others. And it's been amazing how it's just been unfolding on the lives that I've been doing, you know, messages and clients through my business page. People that haven't known about it but are curious have contacted me, and I've done quite a few reports, and this is what I'm offering tonight for those live who've been listening and interacting. If you are interested, I am offering a special offer for the month of November via Maria and the You in Mind. Anyone on the group that follows her page in this live to contact me if you're interested. I will be offering my personal numerology report at a discounted one-time offer, limited offer just for until the 30th of November. The offer will expire for my report, which can be up to 10 pages. So It's giving details of your life path, which I explained as your personality, your expression, which is about your capabilities and your goals, and your heart's desires, your soul urge, which is what resonates with your heart. And then I throw in a one-card numerology reading as well, just to give you confirmation of how everything is linked together. So this is a special offer of only 27 euros as an introductory offer. So if you are interested, do contact me via Maria or on my Facebook page, Natural Healing and Health. I would love to work with you and give you more guidance in your life. So we have Maria. Can you work out where to live with numerology? Well, we have numbers for countries and islands. Of course, that also works. So yes, if you're talking about where to live as in a country, absolutely. With regards to a flat or a house, I would need the numbers, and I could work with that. I could say, well, this number 103 compared to that number 13, this is 103 energies, this is 13 energies. And then you would decide which resonates better with you.
Could that also work with like postal code areas?
Absolutely, absolutely, definitely, very much so. So, for example, I'm a 8221 here in Chloracus in Paphos, Cyprus, and that's a 10, 11, 12, 13. So that's a 4 as well. And I can say that's very true for this suburb, because we've got all kinds of people that have come in now to live. Excuse me, it's not just the local Cypriots anymore, and there's a mixed community. And there has been some some vibes, shall we say. So it's about keeping that balance. And yeah, I can see why I'm here.
I think the postal code for here, because I don't have an address, but I think it's 7570 for Lethrigo, something like that. 7570.
So that's 12, that's 19. So that's a 10. It's creating something new. Yeah, new beginnings. So obviously within yourself, within your life, could be within yourself personally or within a relationship or relationships with others. But it's, full circle. The zero is a full circle, something new.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Definitely come full circle since I've been here.
Yeah, well, Maria, thank you for that. Focusing on tarot and clairvoyance, that's great. Numerology is just another tool. Myself, I've worked with tarot and I am clairvoyant. So for me, it's just another tool. I use it with my healing practices and with my clients. And yeah, they'll often say to me, like today, my friend who's the owner of the boutique that I help out in the afternoons now said to me, "Oh, Helen, I want to do a Christmas event. What date? Shall it be the 27th of November or the 28th? Tell me numerology, which is better." And I did.
Yeah, that's good.
It's just like that. I don't need anything because I have it within me. And yes, it is like clairvoyancy, absolutely. But like we were saying earlier, sometimes we do need a second confirmation.
We do. I love how all these little tools all interconnect,
Absolutely. Whether it's angel cards, whether it's tarot, whether it's runes, whatever it is, ribbons, color healing. To me, it's all integrated, and
I do feel that your birthday is really important because, like, I'll use myself as an example. I was born 1 month early to my due date. So there's a lot of people like that, okay? My daughter was born 1 week early. So to me, that's not a coincidence. I don't believe in coincidence, but
yes, some people would say that it is, yes.
Yeah. So I do feel there's a lot around that, especially the birthday and the time, but I don't know what time I was born. So the time is significant as well.
Oh, absolutely. Extremely. I've done work on myself with that, and it's very, very important. But for example, my son, he was 12 hours before he was born, and had he been born before that time, he would have been in a totally different time zone. But he had to be born at that time, 11 o'clock the following morning, to fall into that 8 in numerology, who is a teacher for all of us in the family, actually.
Yeah. Well, I was in labour for 2.5 full days. Yeah, and she was born at 20 to 1 on a Sunday afternoon. I'll never forget it. Because at that exact time that she was being born, my then brother-in-law kicked the winning goal in rugby.
Wow. So you're also into rugby. We have that in common too as a South African. Wow, look at that. So you see, I don't believe in coincidences either. But,
exactly.
Everything has its place, its reason. And, like I said, this is what I'm sharing about numerology. It's a great tool, a great way to understand that much more. Yes. Maria, I don't have time now to go into that right now. I have another call coming up. So if you would like more information, contact me and we can see how we can work together. So we need to come to an end as I have another call.
Helen, it's been wonderful having you back.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing your wisdom and reigniting my interest in numerology because, like I say, I've not worked with it for a lot of years, but it's funny how, as you've been talking, like, oh yeah, I remember doing that with the letters of my name and
Wonderful. I'm glad I could reignite that spark within you.
Thank you. Yeah, and it's interesting with the postcodes and stuff because that is really interesting to me, because like one of the things I've been offered so many things have been opened up to me in the last few weeks, and I'm like, oh, okay, which I do? Okay, so this could help.
Yeah, wonderful. I'm glad I could be here and add to any guidance and knowledge and wisdom and share it. This is what life is about, sharing our gifts and assisting each other on our paths. So from my heart to yours and to all the wonderful listeners and followers,
thank
you
you
Grace,
everybody for joining us.
Yeah, and the other person that joined us. Always lovely to have you on board with us.
Yes,
I appreciate your interaction with me. This is what it's about. I couldn't do it without you all. So thank you, Maria, once again, and wishing you all a wonderful evening. And remember, keep safe and keep following your heart. Let it be your guide. Love and light.
Absolutely. Love and light. Namaste, Helen.
Namaste. Okay. Bye-bye. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Good night.
Bye-bye. Good night.